Hey, Mike Callahan here with Simpler Growth. We've got our seven-figure business expert Dylan here with us from the Simple Growth team. And Dylan and I were just talking about all the things that are going on in businesses. It potentially could be broken without the business owner really knowing it. So we decided to hop on a quick Facebook Live here to actually break down something we're going to be doing free of charge for any service business that's willing to take 15 to maybe 20 minutes with our Simple Growth team to actually show you the things in your business potentially are broken. And Dylan, I know you've done this audit over the last 6 to 12 months with probably hundreds of different service businesses based in lawn care, home cleaning, pest control, pool services, you name it. But right now, there's a lot of uncertainty right now. A lot of businesses are trying to continue to grow to that million mark and well beyond. But inflation, gas prices, labor shortages, where do I need to work on my business specifically right now to go out and not just crush my goals, but stay alive and continue the same size I'm at? Now, obviously, most people watch this want to continue to grow their business successfully and profitably. But if you're looking at your service business right now and you're like, I need to make sure my business is okay to sustain what's going on in the ecosystem right now. We've got good news. Dylan has the ability for you to hop on the team with one of our seven-figure growth experts to go through this free audit. So, Dylan, I know we've got some compressed time because you actually have an audit here in another 10 to 15 minutes. If you don't mind taking the wheel, brother, and just kind of going through what we walk through, and we're going to put in some fictitious answers here so people can actually see what you get at the end of this. But like, get some massive, actionable information that would cost a lot of money, but we're just literally trying to help every service business we can know where they need to focus and what pain points are going to help them along the way. So if you don't mind, brother, let's walk through this and see what it is. And when we're done, if you've got a link, if you want to Slack it to me, after this, we can post the sign up link in the Facebook Live here so people can sign up for this free audit. But I'll let you take over here.
Cool. Yeah, it's not every day that you can kind of get like a report card almost on how your business is doing, right? You see your financial statements at the end of the year and you're like, oh, I think I did pretty good. But sometimes the financial statements don't say everything as well. So this kind of secondary report card, just to make sure that your business is healthy in all aspects and that there's not really any glaring things that you're just missing, can be really beneficial. So step one is obviously we're going to expect different things depending on the size of your business, right? If you're just starting out and you're $50,000 a year in annual sales, going to be totally different expectations than a company that's doing $3 million a year.
And that's the actual process we go through here. So what if I'm a steady operation between $500,000 and $1 million?
All right, so we'll mark that down. And then we roll into just a simple setup analysis here. So Mike, in your company, are you using a CRM?
Well, Dylan, what is a CRM?
CRM is a customer relationship management program that you would house your customers in, kind of think Service Autopilot, Jobber, Yardbook, something like that. A little bit different than QuickBooks, which is primarily just a financial software.
Okay, so our Aspires and other softwares like that would probably qualify as that as well. Yeah, I'm definitely using a CRM.
Okay.
And I do have a website and a Facebook page.
Okay, perfect.
And
are your services priced based off of square feet, or are you just kind of eyeballing it?
Well, I'll play devil's advocate. Let's say it's the early years and I'm just eyeballing it.
Okay. So I'll mark that as no. And when you're doing these quotes, Mike, are you jotting them down on a notepad? Are you entering them in directly into your CRM? How are you capturing that information?
I'm going to answer this fictitiously just to kind of see what it looks like. But I'm going to say we're driving around in an estimate truck or car, writing it down on pen and paper. And then when we get back to the office, we put it into that CRM.
Okay. And are your team members, if you have any team members, are they clocking in and out using like a mobile app, tracking their time, or?
I'm going to say for this exercise, they are not. We've got to be making money because there's money in the bank. So why would I want to track that, right?
Gotcha. Yeah, well, we'll see why you do want to track that shortly, but I like the fictitious example.
Oh,
so the next part here is the sales analysis. And basically, you're going to receive a score on each one of these segments, which is really cool. But do you have a website quote form? And if so, is it automatically entering the leads into your CRM?
Yeah, I've got one, Dylan, but it sends me an email and I got to type them in. You're telling me there may be a way to get those in automatically, huh? So right
Yes.
now I do not have an automatic way of getting those in.
Okay, so I'll put no for now. And are you tracking and reviewing where these clients and leads are coming from, your client source?
Fictitiously, for this example, I am not.
Okay, and are you sending out at least 20 quotes per month?
Oh yeah, for sure. We're blowing it up.
Okay. And are you following up on these quotes at least 5 times? If yes,
We'll pretend it's early days before we automate. It'd be lucky if you got maybe a phone call back. So definitely not. I'm out there in the field, or at least I was back in the day, getting that work done. So we'll say no.
yep, been there for sure. Are you upselling your database at all?
We'll say fictitiously. Who has time for that?
Maybe one
Probably.
email in the spring and
Yeah, maybe. Obviously, things have changed, but we'll answer this as if we were in the early days.
turning back time.
Oof. Maybe turning back my hairline would be better, huh?
So the last part here is operational. This one's a little bit tougher, a little bit more advanced. Are you tracking daily if your teams are hitting their budgeted times?
Yeah, I am, but it's through a pen and paper, an Excel sheet. Doing my
Okay.
best.
So I'll say yes. I mean, you're tracking it. However you're doing it, might be a little bit more of an efficient way to do it, but at least you are tracking it. That's great. Are you communicating any of those findings with your team for accountability?
I'm going to say I know because most people we talk to right now are scared to do such because they're afraid they're going to lose their employees. But
Mhm.
obviously, when you do it correctly, that's a good way to get employees and keep them. But I'll say
Yeah.
no for this example just to see what the report kicks out.
And are you reviewing any of your clients that you have that you're not hitting your revenue goals with?
We'll pretend this is back in the day. Let's say no.
Okay. So if you are doing a price increase, it's just a blanket across the board.
It's usually what we see in these Facebook groups. So yeah, let's roll with that and see what the audit comes out with.
Okay. Have you received over 25 five-star reviews in the last 12 months?
Let's put in no because before we systematically went out to get those reviews, it didn't happen.
Hmm. And are you tracking your equipment maintenance and warranty expiration automatically?
No, we definitely weren't till we were blowing 2 or 3 engines in a year. So let's check in the oil. So let's put no because that was a big issue in the early days.
Yeah, been there as well.
Those add up pretty quickly.
I'll say no there. So that's the end of the quick analysis, and then like
So what? Maybe 8 to 10 minutes, maybe 15 tops with some conversations back and forth and diving a little bit deeper. Pretty
yeah,
painless.
exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
Sometimes we go into some of these questions a little bit more detail. A lot of them are, well, maybe, sort of, I do this, but
Okay. But we're having some fun with it, but just kind of let people know what this audit actually does for them.
yeah. And so if we go over to the results page now, which we include as a PDF to everybody once we've done this, looks like we're having a little bit of an error here, but that's okay. I'll tally up the results. Shouldn't be a hard equation to do here. So you basically got about 60% on the setup side of
Okay.
things. So I'll have to, well, let's just go 3 divided by 5. There we go. That looks a little better anyways.
All the things that happen at Facebook Live, but we're good. So, all
Hey,
right.
no biggie. So you're a stage 3 business. On the setup side of things, you got 60%, which is a passing grade, not passing with flying colors, but passed. Then on the sales and the operational side of things, you didn't do so well. 10% is basically what you got. So the overall score is about 17%, with the biggest issues coming from like the sales and the operational side of things. Obviously, you can kind of see it in graph form here. But usually what I'll do is when I send over the results, I don't just send you this and say, hey, have fun with it. There's obviously like some recommendations, very high level, that can be made to improve these sections. Usually they're fairly easy things to fix. It's just a matter of, enlisting someone to do it, whether that's someone at your company or someone else. But that's typically the process that I would do, is just add in some kind of concrete recommendations here based on um, what you answered no to.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I've seen those recommendations are really solid, and a lot of things. I mean, obviously we're doing this for free, but a lot of the stuff, honestly, Dylan, we're not really selling anything with a lot of it. It's really these are the things you need to take action on and fix. And if you do need some help, some of it we provide services, some we actually don't. But it really is some great transparency, and it's just like 60%, I mean, that's how I got through some of my chemistry classes in high school. I got through, but it really wasn't successful. And it's something that I probably could take later on in life with me. So, I mean, if you're at 10% of your sales and operations, those are usually traditionally very easy fixes. And some can be automated, some can be systems and processes. But the idea here is if you're looking at it and you kind of want to know what stage business you are from 1 to 1 million or beyond, and what we do is we look at the different stages of business, 1A and 1B, I like to call it. So 1A, you've got a part-time or you got a full-time job, you're doing your service business full or part-time. 1B, you kind of said the hell with the man, he's making too much money off me. I've quit that job and I've become an entrepreneur. Now my biggest pain point is how do I get more leads? Stage number 2, your biggest issue now, and it's based on, and we can break down the sales revenue things, but the biggest hurdle there is going to be going in and figuring out how to make sales. Stage 3 is systems, and then stage 4 is at million and beyond. So that's really SOP, standard operating procedures, and building a team. And then stage 5 is 3 to 5 million and beyond, is really building a leadership team. So if you're kind of looking at that stage of business, that kind of correlates. And behind the scenes of this, it's looking at the biggest pain point and hurdle. And are you at 100%? So if you're at a stage 3 business, just about to break 1 million or button up against it, the biggest pain point right now is sales and operations. So this kind of lines up perfectly against that, Dylan. And there are some very strategic things that every service business should do at a stage 3 business. And obviously, if this was a real business, they've got some really tough issues here. So somewhere between that 750 and $1 million, or even a 500,000 and 750, if they don't fix these things, they're at serious risk of financial failure, and
Mhm.
not being able to recruit and train and retain the employees that we all need. So if people are interested, we're going to drop a link here below this. But basically, it's a 15 to 20-minute free audit with Dylan or somebody on the Simple Growth team that has scaled a 7-figure business and beyond. It's all private. And then once you get this graphic underneath it, there is some detailed plans of things that you should do specifically now at that stage 1, 2, 3, or 4, or 5 business to be successful. And there's a decent amount of detail in there. So I'd wish something like this was around when we were trying to break that million mark. Is that 750 to 1 million mark? As you know, Dylan, you've been there before. It's like the gray area of death. You gotta get over that, or you're gonna die in there. As well, that 1 to 2, 2.5 million mark, there's also some massive hurdles there. So this is built to just literally pinpoint the exact pain point based on your business and what the pain points are in each stage of business, or how they correlate. So, Dylan, I know you've got another audit to do here in another minute or two, but any closing thoughts before we wrap this up and post the link? And I guess if you can actually message me on Slack, if you have it afterwards, I will post the link for people to sign up for the free audit.
Yeah, we'll do. I guess my only thing to add is some people want to go a little bit more in depth with it. So sometimes on a screen share, like we don't need to follow this exact format, right? Sometimes someone comes to me and says, "Hey, this is my issue specifically. I know what it is. I'd like to do the audit, but I'm more interested kind of your opinion on this one issue." So we can kind of scrap this format if necessary and really dive in a little bit more in depth to a specific issue. Maybe they're budgeted times aren't matching up with their actual times, and they just want like a more in-depth analysis on that. So I'm interested in stuff like that, kind of nerd out on solving some of these problems. So I'm more than happy to kind of break the mold of this if it is necessary, if people do want to get a little bit more in depth with it.
Yeah, glad you said that too, because some of the biggest breakthroughs of when you've gotten off the path of this, we're actually done this and dove in a little bit deeper. But I
Hmm.
know some of our clients that we work with have literally ended up sitting with us knee to knee for 23 hours, over a screen share or in person, to actually rebuild their whole entire pricing matrix and service business, after diving in and actually seeing the solution. They tried it themselves, they didn't have the time or the bandwidth to do it. And they said, you know what? we just trust you guys after this. You showed us how to do it. We just didn't have the time or the ability to do it ourselves. So we'll show you how to do it. And then if you need some help, obviously we're here. But the idea is just to go in and pinpoint those business pain points right now in the uncertain times we're living in to be make sure this business survives and thrives throughout the year and into next year. So we'll post a link right after the video, and Dylan, I'll let you take her home.
All right, sounds good. Yeah, I was just going to add one last thing. Like it's just so important to get a second set of eyes on things. There's things that me and you, Mike, if we were looking at someone's file, would be able to see and notice that would never, ever reach your accountant's eyes. So, little things like the discrepancies between actual and budgeted times that can actually be a massive issue depending on the size of your company. Your accountants are never going to see those data points. So
yeah, and pro tip, especially with gas prices right now, off-road fuel credit tax. If your accountant is not getting you the off-road fuel credit tax in the States, get a new accountant. But we've had people literally $7,000 or $8,000 of tax credits for fuel that their accountant never got them. So you can reamend those tax returns up to 3 years at a very small price. So this video may just profit you $7,000 to $10,000 in tax credit. So Dylan, can't thank you enough, and we'll get that link under here to sign up for a free business audit coming up here shortly. Thanks again, Dylan. Appreciate it.
Yep. Thank you.